Y'all, I'm about to wear this wig. Ow!
Hey, what's up? What's up? What's up? Get ready with me for my 9 to 5, and you're gonna hear a lovely story. So, in the recruiting world, we call this my army story, right? I'm gonna tell y'all a little bit about me. So, I never had plans to join the army. I'm gonna be 100% honest with y'all. I never had plans to join the army at the time. I was going to Old Dominion University, majoring in mechanical engineering with a focus in automotive sports. My mom wanted me to do ROTC and join as a Air Force officer, right? But I was like, nah, I'm not doing that. Like, I'm not gonna lie. In college, I never really went to class. I mean, I passed all my classes. I'm gonna be honest. Like, I had a 4.0 GPA. Baby girl was on it. But I wasn't. I had no plans of doing ROTC. Like, let's be for real, right? So, following that, I didn't go back to school. And I started working in San Antonio, and that's when I met my first recruiter. He was an actual Air Force recruiter. He was cool. He talked to me for like a cool minute, even like to this day. He's retired now. He's cool. Shout out to you, right? But it just wasn't a thing for me, right? So fast forward, my sister moves to Arizona, and I head out that way too. Same thing. I was working at that time. I was about to start school at Glendale Community College, and then I was working at Ross. I had just started working at Ross because I quit my job at this candy store. And then from there, I was about to work at Charlotte Russe because it was the holiday season. And I was really ready to quit Jiffy Lube because I wasn't having it. And I started talking again to my second Air Force recruiter, right? And so talked with him. He was cool or whatever. I don't really remember his name. He was just kind of like dorky or whatever. And so I take the practice test. When I took the practice test, I got a 45. And he was like, okay, just study a little bit more, and then we can set your test up. Now that I'm an army recruiter, I know for a fact bro was trying to pocket me because I definitely could have went down and took my ASVAB. Like, he was definitely trying to pocket me for a rainy day. So I was like, all right, cool, whatever. And I was kind of playing with the idea of joining the military because it wasn't something that like I was hungry to do. I just was like, I had told my sister, I was like, girl, I cannot be still living at your house in 21. Like, at 21, I got to go. Like, I got to figure something out because if working, going to school, if I'm gonna be a struggling bum, like, I'm gonna have to figure something out. And it's not like she was like trying to push me out to like leave. It was just a pride thing. Like, if I have a dude I'm talking to, I'm not trying to bring him back to my sister's house. Like, no, let's go and tacky. For me, like, that was just my personal thing. Like, no, I'm not trying to do that. So I was still talking to the recruiter here and there, and one day I was on my way to work, and I was like, let me stop over here real quick, and he wasn't there. Which, like I said, now that I'm Army recruiter, the Air Force recruiters sometimes don't be in the office, y'all. Like, they don't be there because people always come over to our office and they're like, hey, do you know when such and such will be in? So I go over and I was sitting, I like walked in, and Sergeant Duran, his desk was the first one on the right, and he ended up becoming my army recruiter. So I was like, okay, hey, y'all know when the Air Force people coming in? And he laughed. He was like, we don't work with them. I was just like, okay. He's like, we do our own separate thing. And I was just like, all right, okay, thanks. He's like, well, what are you looking for? I was like, no, I was just trying to talk to the Air Force and see about joining or whatever. And he's like, okay, what have you done so far? And I told him, I was like, nothing. I was just talking to him. And then he saw I had my uniform on because I was going to Ross because I worked at Ross at the time. And he was like, okay, well, let me get your information, and then I'll, hit you up and we can see from there. And I was like, all right, whatever, cool. I didn't really care. I mean, now, like I said, now that I'm an Army recruiter, bro needed a name, he needed a number, and he needed an appointment. And I was his appointment that day. So he probably didn't care if I joined or not because that's what he needed. I was what he needed at the time. So cool. So fast forward, I go back over there, and the Air Force recruiter was there again. And he had me retake the test. Same thing, like the practice test you take in the office when you meet with the recruiter. He had me retake it, and I was just like, okay, bro, sorry, y'all, that's my dog, Bandit. I love you, okay? So he had me retake the test again. I'm like, bro, I could go and test. But I was like, all right, whatever. And then he was like, what type of job are you going to do? I was like, well, because again, remember, I was majoring in mechanical engineering with a focus on automotive sports. I just wanted to work on cars. Like, it was either I was going to join the military or go to UTI. I just wanted to work on cars because at the time, that's what I wanted to do. So fast forward, he's talking to me. He's like, well, if you want to be a mechanic, you'll just work with the Army. Have you ever thought about EOD? And that's what pissed me off when it came to him. I was just like, bro, what? Like, I'm telling you, I'm trying to join with you, and that's what you told me. And then he was like, yeah, have you ever thought about like being EOD? They're the ones who go and, work with bombs. Like, pretty much be a part of the bomb squad. And I'm just like, that has nothing to do with, like, I'm just thinking, because I'm kind of, I'd say I was still kind of a kid. I was kind of just like froze. Like, I was really trying to understand the fact, like, I told this man what I wanted, and he sat here and just really tried to play me. Like, really, bro? Cool. So I was like, all right, cool, yeah, all right, thank you. And then I left. I kid y'all not, y'all. I left that office and I walked right into Sergeant Duran. And I was just like, hey, well, Sergeant Duran wasn't there that day. So I walked in and Sergeant Duran is like, not him, but I don't know what this dude's name is, but I didn't like him, period. And he wasn't we call it bow buddies. He wasn't the bow buddy who was always with Sergeant Duran. But this guy, I did not like him. He just gave me grimy, slimy car salesman vibes. Like, I was not feeling him. So, yeah. He was like, he's not here, I'll talk to you. I was like, no, that's fine, just have him call me. So he ended up texting me. He was like, hey, you came by the office. And ever since then, y'all, let me tell y'all, I joined the Army as a 74 Delta Seaburn soldier. Okay, I'm a chemical dragon. I do the thing. And I never thought I would do 20 years in the Army, but baby, here I am, almost 10 years in. So I joined the Army in 2015 at 19 years old. I did both my basic training and my job training in Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri, lost in the woods because there's nothing there. Nothing. Then, after I completed my job training, my first duty station was Fort Carson, which is in Colorado. Looking back, I should have explored the area. Like, I should have had fun. I should have did all this. But I was too busy trying to be a freaking booed up wife who later ended up in a divorce. The ghetto. Okay? The ghetto. Fast forward, I do my time there, and I end up going to my first leadership school and technical escort school, which is a really dope school too. And they stationed me next in South Korea. By that time, I've been promoted to a sergeant, which is an E5. And keep in mind, I came in as an E1, a fuzzy, a nothing. Because that recruiting office, unless you gave them somebody put in the Army, they was not promoting you. So I came in as a fuzzy, nothing on my chest. So yeah, fast forward. I'm in Korea, living it up. Then I went through a divorce. That was ghetto. I completed and got my associate's degree in health and fitness. And then in the process of I re-enlisted for Washington State. And while I was on my way to JBLM, I went to ALC, which is our advanced leaders course. And that's where I learned more about being a chemical NCO, doing my job, the whole 9 yards. Fast forward, I arrive in Washington. I'm at my first infantry unit. And honestly, while I was there, I feel like my career progressed. Okay, I went to battle staff while I was there. I was at S3 NCOIC. On top of that, I completed my bachelor's degree, as well as attending other leadership schools that helped me on the operations side. So I'm trained on a few systems. Really great. And for it to be an infantry unit, I miss it. I miss going to the field. I miss training. I miss going to the ranges. I miss competing with my friends. Don't get me wrong, right? Recruiting is cool. Y'all are great. Well, I mean, the people who are going to listen to this, but recruiting's cool. But I really like being down in the trenches with the soldiers. So now here I am doing my time as a recruiter. I definitely asked Branch to be an instructor, but they said, no, you're going to be a recruiter. I'm working on my master's degree, and I've really decided that I'm going to just make the Army a career. And I never planned this way, but I'm 27, which means at 25, I'm responsible for my own insurance. Nothing is going to ever beat the benefits that the Army gives me, right? Okay, I get housing allowance that's separate than my salary. I'm going to be able to buy my first home without putting any money down. I'm going to college for free. have the money to like invest and create assets. I just got to get my poop together and finally do what I need to do so I can be successful. So I say all that to say, my 9 to 5 does limit some of the looks I can wear from time to time, which is why I got this. We call it the S4, S1 wig. Okay. You know, like I look like I'm supply. I look like I handle people's personal actions. Right. But at the end of the day, it was worth it. And I'm going to keep rocking out. Like I'm going to keep kicking butt and taking names, because at the end of the day, when I look back, I'm leaving a legacy for the children I don't have. And I'm continuing my father's legacy, who was a whole sailor who retired in the military. So if you had any thought or any question of like, should I go after something that is the complete opposite of what I've ever wanted to try? Abso-freaking-lutely. Do it. Go for it. Take off. Guns a-blazing. Do not discourage yourself or limit yourself from something just because it goes against what everyone else says you should do. Be your own freaking person. Create your own path, because at the end of the day, it's your life. So if there's a business you want to open, even though mine failed a few times, baby girl, open that business. If it's a book you want to write, you better get the pen and the paper and you better start writing. Because at the end of the day, this is your life. This is your legacy. This is your dream. And nobody else is going to live it out but you. Nobody else is going to see it through into the end but you. Nobody is going to root for you and advocate harder for you than you. And you should take that with you.